right, we are back. The keynote has just ended, and I have with me my special friend, Rick. How you doing, buddy?
Hello, I am doing good. It was absolutely buzzing in that keynote.
So I wasn't in there. How big was it?
Huge. It was really, I've never seen geeks run before. It was like being at a gig. They all just sort of streamed in and ran to the front. But you'll notice I've changed ties, Seth.
Yeah, you have
so
ties.
I'm disappointed, man. I think you need to make more of an effort. So I think I'll give you the American flag for a while.
I'm getting, I need to put this on.
Oh, that's
somehow.
very you, darling. It is.
So I feel
definitely.
like, hold on, I don't know if I want to have like this. Does this bother you when it's like this the whole time?
No. See, evidently you don't wear these things enough. Come on, you need to take more care of your appearance.
I will.
Man.
I'm going to put this right here, and then I'm going to get it on later. So give me a sense for how many people were in the keynote.
So it was really interesting. So I've been to Build, I've been to TechEd Europe. I've never been to a keynote where they've got sort of banked stadium seating at the back before. So it was just this sea of people. And the camera was right next to a pillar. I'm sort of looking out over all these people. And I thought, great, you know, we've got people sat right in front of us. That's going to be so cool for doing interviews. And they all sat down. I said, hey, guys, do you mind if I can just tap you on the shoulder? You turn around and talk to me? They stood up and walked off. I mean, what is it the hair?
I
is
don't
it the
know.
bow tie?
Maybe they don't like you. I don't know how you couldn't like Rick. He's the super nicest guy in the universe.
I'm so fluffy.
Yeah, it's really cool. So look, I'm going to have you stick around here for a little bit
Okay,
because I like you. You're going to stick around here in a little bit, but I want to go out and see how our community reporters are doing. Okay, they're telling me they're not ready. So what I want to do is I want to ask you one more thing. Was there something in the keynote that you liked?
Oh, I think that's a really interesting question. So I always like the way Satya tries to set the scene, and I think it's really interesting that he's very different from other tech CEOs. You know, he tends to broaden the scope of the keynote to more than just here's our new product. It's here's our corporate vision, here's our corporate ethics, and I admire him a lot for the way he does that. I think it's very brave that you might start the keynote and limber up rather than going with the, you know, hey, here's the new product du jour. And I really enjoy that.
So how long of a walk was it to get back from the keynote?
Oh, man, it is so hot out there, and it's like 20 minutes, and of course they go, well, you got to get back quick, Rick, so I'm sort of frog marching this thing. Absolutely.
And you're like dressed nicely and stuff. I'm like the slob here.
Well, you know, I always try and make an effort for you, darling.
I know
that.
It's true. It's true. So give me another sense for like, you were there in the keynote. Was it pretty full by the time you got there?
Yeah, so it was standing room only by the time we left, which I've never seen in a keynote before. Normally, you know, they don't let you sort of spill around. It's all come in, sit down. But yeah, so that I mean, imagine, if you will, that sort of large sea of people.
Right.
Then we've got banked seating around the edges, and then sort of 20, 30 feet of people just standing around on their phones at the back, hoping that they can stay there and watch the keynote. Everybody's really excited. The DJ was kicking.
Really?
Oh yeah. So fortunately, I hope they haven't recorded anything, because I'm sort of
I don't use the word kicking because
I'm not 12.
I feel like I would look foolish. You sounded great. Like if I said kicking, people would shut this thing off. Like no, they'd be like, hey, you know, we need to get out. It's over. Okay, it's over. Okay, so give me another sense for like, is the keynote in this building, or give me a sense for like the overall layout of Ignite for people that aren't.
So I mean, you know, I'm an Ignite first timer.
Yeah.
And I got to say, actually, I think I've picked the right first time to come. So I was talking to Josh, who's obviously been here a few times. The keynote is over in South. So that's a 20-minute walk, and in previous years they've had sessions there as well, so it's been really hard to get between them. Now what they've done in West, which is where we are now with the great community expo, and there's mechanics over there, and behind us is the big stage for the keynote. Everything's in West, and thank you for that, because not having to go outside in that baking Florida sun, you know, I'm from Yorkshire. It's cold and grey and wet. It's like Seattle with the volume turned slightly down.
Yeah, that's
you know?
true.
This isn't me. This is hot. Even with the linen on, you know, I'm going to lose so much weight this
Yeah,
week.
I
It's
feel like, I mean, the humidity is what gets me out here. But okay, so tell us the kind of the tech that you work on, so you can people can know a little bit about you, because I didn't get to introduce you too much.
So I'm really hard to pigeonhole, as you know, because I do so much. I'm an Azure guy, and I try and help my customers transition their on-prem systems and their software line of business systems into the cloud. I work for a dev shop, so you dream it, we'll write it. You know,
Right.
from
Black Marble, right?
that's right. So 3D models of submarine propellers to exhibition stuff. We do a lot of evangelism in the field, and I really, really love that. So there's no typical Rick week.
Yeah.
You know? One day it could be mundane, taking an insurance system from Windows Server to Azure.
Right.
And the next week it could be doing a UWP app for the police, or the week after that I could be lucky enough to be sitting next to your wonderful self at Ignite, and then I'm crazy busy for the next couple of weeks with some other conferences that I'm so lucky to speak at. So yeah, I love my life.
What are you looking forward to at Ignite? Are there some technology that you want to get into, or are there some things that you want to brush up on? What are you looking for out of Ignite?
So there's a ton of cool new product announcements coming out, and there are some previews being announced that I'm really, really interested in, that I've been working with the teams on. What I find these days when I come to places like Ignite and Build, the sessions are recorded. So the top tip is, if you want to go to sessions, go to the ones where you know you're going to ask questions.
Okay.
Because you can watch all the other ones on recording. And then the rest of your time, you just spend in the expo hall. You talk to the product teams, you find the guys that are writing the stuff you want to use, ask them about the problems you're having, talk to them about what's coming. They love that because they want to hear that feedback from you. They want to know how you're using their stuff. So basically, I will be hanging around all the way over there in that fabulous expo that we've been seeing so much of so far this morning.
Yeah, you know, I actually also have booth duty Wednesday morning and Thursday afternoon.
Maybe I'll come and see you
So
then.
come see me. I'm going to be talking all about AI. So are there any sessions that you flagged to go see? Are you still like...
So there's this guy's doing a session that I'm quite interested in. I watched him speak at Build, and he was pretty good. Some Seth Wap.
Oh, I don't know him. It sounds like a terrible person.
So I was thinking about that. I mean, obviously, anything by Mr. Rasinovich, I usually go to. It's a real shame though. So I'm old, so I used to go to Tech Ed.
Same.
And at Tech Ed, Mark used to do the Case of the Unexplained, and they were fantastic sessions where he'd like go through using the sys internal tools to investigate all kinds of strange stuff and show you how to use them. I loved those. I think it's a real shame he's not doing those this year. I would have absolutely gone to that in a heartbeat.
Awesome. Well, I like having you here.
But shut up, right?
Will you stick around for a little bit?
Sure.
Because it looks like we got Alex in the immersion zone that's going to tell us what's going on over there. Alex, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. Hey
So-
there. So I am here with.
Viren Deshpande.
Very nice to meet you, Viren. So how do you find the keynote?
I think it was impressive. This was my first time to hear Satya Nadella, and it was exciting to see him talking live. The takeaway from the keynote is I like the way they are doing something new with the Open Data Initiative with Adobe and SAP. And also I like the way Microsoft is going ahead with all the AI initiatives. That's impressive to see.
Absolutely, I couldn't agree more. What are you looking for most for here at Ignite?
My whole agenda for the Ignite is to go over through the Microsoft Teams rollout, what they are going from Microsoft Skype, rolling out to Microsoft Teams, and that's where I come from. We are planning to roll out Microsoft Teams in our organization, so I'm looking forward to get more and more data about the Microsoft Teams.
That's brilliant. There's going to be a lot of content about data, about Skype, about Teams, and many communication platforms here. There will be a lot of cool people to talk about and network with. Thank you so much for doing this. Seth, back to you.
All right, thanks so much, Alex. Tell me, what's it looking like over there? Are people just coming out of the keynote area? Are there a lot of people over there? What you got going on, buddy?
Basically flocking from the watching area here in the immersion zone, where they decided to be comfortable and watch the keynote live, the Satya Nadella keynote, and now they're heading towards, I could guess, the expo area. They want to look at the Microsoft store. They want to look at the exhibitors' booths and whatnot. So it's pretty crowded. It's getting loud as well.
Awesome. Well, thanks so much, Alex. We'll probably check back in with you a little bit later. You okay with that? Of course he is. He's okay with that. So let's see. I'm hearing that maybe Jen is available. Is that right? Jen, how's everything going on over there, my friend?
Hey Seth, thank you so much. Now, as I was so excited about the keynote, and I've got one of the guests here who's going to tell us what her favourite thoughts were about the keynote. So, would you mind telling us your name?
Sailaja Kilambi,
Pleased to meet you. Where did you travel from to come to Ignite?
Maryland.
Oh, Maryland, okay. I came from the UK, so a bit further. So what did you think of the keynote then? What was your favourite things?
Actually, I work for a chemical manufacturing company. We are in Microsoft 15 plus years. But unfortunately, this is my first Ignite, so it was very impressive to see Satya Nadella spoke. I was expecting cloud technologies, AI, that he would definitely speak because we are in that area for a few years already. But what impressed me was the Open Data Initiative. It's really very impressive to see SAP and Adobe coming together to support Microsoft and vice versa. In my company, we also have SAP, so it's really nice to see that things are coming together. And also the security piece is very impressive. I have not known that Microsoft was solving security issues, not only for the big companies, but also for the small companies. So it was really nice hearing him speak about the security and humanitarian causes as well towards the end. That I feel like I should be part of Microsoft moving forward as well.
Oh, that's fantastic to hear. I'm glad you enjoyed it so much. Especially the diversity and technology piece is so important. What do you think about Microsoft putting that front and centre of what they're doing?
I'm sorry?
What do you think about Microsoft's initiatives over diversity and technology? The whole initiatives around that, it's really exciting. Do you think that?
Absolutely exciting to be part of it and the journey going forward as well. Yep.
Thank you. So thank you very much, Seth. And thank you so much for having us. And we're so excited to be here today.
Absolutely. I'm looking forward for the rest of the week to attend some of the sessions here. And also my colleague Veera, who is speaking in one of the days about how we utilized Microsoft with flows. So I'm also excited to be part of his journey.
Oh, that's great. Well, thank you so much, Seth. Back to you. Thank you for
Awesome.
being with us today. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Now, like I said, I promised we were going to check in with the social desk. Here I have Hajit. How you doing, my friend?
I'm good.
So what'd you think of the keynote? You like it?
It's awesome.
Fantastic. So anything coming in through social?
Yes,
What do you got?
I've got happiness.
Let's hear
All
about
sorts of happiness.
Let's hear about the happiness.
All right, so we got a first tweet. Well, that's you.
Uh-huh.
And with Caitlin.
Uh-huh.
And, you know, that shows some happy moments here at...
Like they're tired of looking at me. You got to pull
Well-
someone else up.
Check this out.
Okay.
Mickey Mouse ears. And that's my MVP lead, Betsy Weber.
Uh-huh.
And she's doing awesome. Yeah,
Now, is everyone? Are they pushing out these? Can people see them out there? You can see them. You can see the tweets. Okay.
All right. So next one, we got this guy here, Rick Hepworth.
Oh my
And
goodness.
he's looking cool with a bow
Yeah,
tie.
I mean, like someone asked me, and no offense, but they're like, I did not know Gallagher was here. Like, we need you to smash some watermelons or something. Can we get some watermelons up in here and we'll smash them?
And then we have a wonderful Donna.
Okay, so
Right.
Donna Sarkar. Okay, is
Yeah.
it all right?
And, you know, pushing the Windows Insiders and again, happy moment.
And as you're going through those, how can people get on the show? What can they do?
They need to tweet with the hashtag MSIgnite.
Okay.
And
Okay.
we'll capture the all the moments.
Okay. A hashtag MSIgnite, or they can tweet at you
Yep, they can tweet me
or myself.
at Huge and yep.
And or at MS_Ignite. Don't forget the
Exactly.
underscore on that one. All right, what else you got, my friend?
All right, so another one here, Star Wars. Right? People are having fun. Not only that you come to Ignite for this stuff, but there's other fun stuff to do as well.
Uh-huh.
And then finally, I got this one here. Someone tweeted like, "What's this all about?" Right? And it's not a Big Brother thing. It's basically to help other attendees to find you. You know, if they want to meet up and things like that, to see, hey, you know, this person I want to meet up is at this location, so I'm going to go over there, kind of a thing.
They didn't give me one. I don't think they want me talking to anybody.
Right.
We don't want to follow you around, Seth.
No,
It-
it's not
okay,
a,
I'm sorry,
like,
no.
like, hey, there's only so much Seth. They didn't give you one either, though.
No, but who wants to follow me?
I'm just saying. All right, Hajit, just give us a summary of what people can do to get online today.
So hashtag MSIgnite and follow me at Hooch, follow you, and also the official Microsoft Ignite Twitter handle, which is ms_ignite. And yeah, get involved.
Awesome. Thanks so much, Hajit. Well, I am being told that Amy is available. Amy, can you hear me? What's going on over there where you're at?
Hey Seth, I can definitely hear you. I am back over in Hangouts. I have some really good news for you. I found an attendee that I know and that knows my husband.
What?
How exciting is that?
That is, spill the beans. Tell him to spill
Super
all the beans.
exciting.
We want to hear everything.
So this is Steve.
Yes, it is.
Steve, let me know where you work.
I work at Ithaca College in Central New York.
Awesome. So is this your first Ignite?
This is well, I've been to every Ignite and many tech eds before that.
So you were at the first Ignite in Chicago where I met Johan.
That's right, exactly.
Were you in the room when we started talking?
I believe I might have been, yeah.
How much more?
Yeah.
Okay, awesome. So what is it that you're most looking forward to this week?
Probably improvements to modern workplace, so OneDrive for Business, Macintosh support, improvements in SharePoint Teams, and moving probably our management of our devices to Intune.
Awesome. So tell me, have you guys started your Windows 10 rollout?
Yes, we're completely Windows 10, but we need to wrap kind of our brains around how to keep up with the release schedule of the builds.
Okay, so you're looking forward to those like servicing sessions
Exactly.
and management with Intune. Are you doing any kind of co-management with Config Manager?
Not right now. So we're Config Manager on-prem, but we have Intune on our license, and we need to talk about code management.
Okay, that is super exciting. Do you have any advice for first-time attendees or someone who wants to attend next year?
Well, there's too much to see, and don't worry about that. So just find, the sessions you're interested in, people that you want to meet and network with, and, don't worry about if you miss something, you'll catch it on the video later.
Would you agree with me that while Ignite may be a giant conference, it's kind of a small world? I mean, you and I ran into each other just in the expo hall over there.
It is a small world. I ran into a friend of mine on the bus this morning coming in, and another friend in the airport. So even though thousands of people, I run into people I know all the time.
Okay, awesome. All right, Seth, do you have any questions for us?
So my question for you is, what is it like back there? Are there a lot of people hanging out? I mean, I know it's called the Hangouts, but I want to make sure there's people there.
It's super busy when sessions are going. Right now it's a little bit quiet. Satya's keynote just ended, and we have a little bit of downtime before we have the next group of keynotes, and they're kind of all across the convention area. But people who don't want to walk super far can sit in here, and that's true for all of the sessions. So you'll see it fill in when there's really big sessions where it might be standing room only or they've shut the doors to a session. You'll see attendees over here joining in sessions, taking notes, just relaxing, and the meal hall is just over here. So if you want to grab a quick bite to eat and then come back over here to watch a session, this is the perfect area to be. I'm so glad I'm right here.
Well, I am totally jealous that I'm not there with you. I have to be here with Rick.
Oh, I'm sorry.
But I love Rick. No, Rick's awesome.
He's a pretty great guy.
I mean, you've hung out with him. He's like the kind of bloke that we would just hang out with, have really cool story. Any cool stories for us, Rick?
Well, I don't know off the top of my head.
I know, right?
So
It's no pressure.
My coolest story at the moment is I'm suddenly here with some of the greatest guys I've ever met doing this community reporter gig, and it is so cool. It's such a privilege.
Talk about Hajit, apparently. Well, look, I love being with you, but we're going to send you off, my friend. Okay. You have other places to be. Where are you going?
I do. So it's going to be Battle of the Hats next, Seth, because I'm going to go talk to Rickster about
Rick Claus.
The Rick Claus.
Is he patch or switch?
Oh, don't ask me.
Yeah, I don't know.
I get into but we're going to talk about a great new initiative in learning that Microsoft are launching today, so I'm really excited about that.
Fantastic. Well, we're going to send you off, my friend. Don't let him take his hat off. You don't want to see what's under there.
Really? I was hoping to steal it and swap it for mine. You know?
All right, buddy. All right, we're going to send you off. Earlier today, my friends, our community reporter Raymond connected with Microsoft Ignite host Julia White to get her thoughts on what makes this year's event different than last year's. Take a look.
Thank you, Seth. I am super excited to be here on the roof of the convention center with nobody less than Julia White, Corporate Vice President of Microsoft. Hello, Julia.
Hello. So good to be here.
Yes, I really wanted to know what's going to be different about Ignite this year.
Well, first of all, some of the things that are the same are great learning, more hands-on labs, but definitely certifications, more ability to learn on site. That is new. A bunch of new investments around diversity and inclusion, and for everybody to get involved in those initiatives. And then actually bringing together more of our Envision, our business crowd, with the technologists at Ignite. So bringing those together a bit more this year as well. So some great consistencies and some great new things.
Well, I'm truly looking forward to this event. Well, last year at the event, you were pretty excited about the session I was presenting. Thank you for that. I was presenting hackers on Windows 10. Yes. And for this year, what is your favorite session? What are your favorite sessions for this year's event? Yeah.
Well, I'm a little biased, so I am pretty excited about the Azure sessions happening and a lot of announcements coming there. But I want to know, what are you most excited about?
Well, I'm truly looking forward to OneDrive. I think OneDrive is really doing well, and I think that product is going to be great. Awesome. I'm going to watch those sessions for sure. Great. So for this year, you're going to present yourself?
I am. This year I have an opportunity to speak with Scott Guthrie about Azure, so we'll be doing that technical keynote. And then also really awesome opportunity over at Microsoft Envision to interview Dr. Mae Jemison, the first African-American woman who went to space. Amazing story there. And then I'm doing a few technology leadership sessions, one with the CIO of Scotiabank and one with our own Chief Digital Transformation Officer, Kurt Del Bene, talking about broader concepts and changes in technology.
That sounds pretty interesting. So people should be going to Julia, her sessions as well. And for the people at home, are there any special announcements that they have to look forward to this week?
Are you kidding me? There's so many announcements that I couldn't possibly even begin to talk about any of them. I literally have a book of them listing how many new innovation releases, how many updates, how many new capabilities coming. That's what this whole week is about, to get through all of that great new stuff.
Okay, thank you very much. So we got to be focused this week to see what's happening at Ignite event. So what's next for Microsoft and Julia White?
Well, what's next for me is the big party at Universal Studios, so that's what I'm focused on.
Okay, but first you got to present your session, and we're going to see you back at this conference. Thank you very much, Julia. Seth, back to you.
All right, it looks like we have Jen over there in the keynote area to talk to one more person or a couple people. Jen, are you over there? What have we got going on there, my friend? Go ahead, Jen.
Oh, hey Seth, thank you so much. And you never guess who I've got with me today?
Tiffany Tracy.
And we have?
Hi, my name is Tara Roth.
So I'm very pleased to have you both with me today. So now, what did you think about the Ignite keynote? What was the main themes for you?
I think it was awesome to see customers embracing their move to in their digital transformation, and just how the physical and the digital worlds are merging, and how AI is just relevant everywhere.
Oh, that's amazing. I love AI. I'm a huge fan of that. And what about yourself? What did you think of the main themes of the keynotes?
Yeah, so I think it's really awesome to see Satya continuing to embrace this open approach to leading the company, as well as really making our customers successful. Great to see the partnerships and that being announced today.
Yeah, I think that's amazing. What did you think about the AI for humanitarian in particular? Was that something really exciting for you?
Absolutely. I think all the AI initiatives for accessibility, for diversity and inclusion, for humanitarian, it was just great to see how we're spearheading these pieces and then opening up so everybody can innovate.
Oh, it's amazing, the democratization of data and AI. What do you think yourself about the whole diversity initiative that Satya and the team at Microsoft are really putting forward?
Yeah, it's awesome. In fact, I'm heading to a lunch in just a few hours and talking more about diversity and inclusion there. So it's great to see the focus, even last year and this year, continuing.
Oh, that's amazing. Are there any sessions in particular you would recommend people to attend in order to find more? Any speakers they should look for?
Well, we're spending a lot of time in the Transforming the Modern Workplace, so we definitely encourage people to go there.
Oh, well, that's amazing. But thank you so much, Seth, and thank you to my guests for joining us here today.
You're welcome.
Awesome. It's always great to have people there in the keynote area. I wish I was there, but I have some awesome people here. They're here to recap the Vision keynote with me and share their personal highlights. Please welcome back Mary Jo Foley and Paul Thurrott. Sorry I had to cut you off there earlier.
No worry, no worries.
They told me, oh no, we have to go to the keynote right now. And I'm like, well, I'm not going to interrupt Mary Jo because you will get hit by lightning. You've been hit by lightning several times, Paul.
At least hit.
We call it gonging.
Gonging. That's awesome. So let's start with this. high-level overview of the things that you liked about the keynote, like 10,000-foot level. Like if I was to watch this over again and take some notes, what would you look out for? We'll start with you, Paul, and then we'll move over to Mary Jo.
Actually, I think it's kind of interesting how the keynote paralleled the conversation that we had earlier. Right?
Sure.
You know, Microsoft's expanded role in the industry, the new businesses that you know Microsoft is exploring at this time, cloud computing and on the edge as well. And then the openness that Mary Jo talked about, embracing open and partnering with other companies, which is historically a huge Microsoft strength. But
sure,
it was just really a position of strength. And if you don't mind, I mean,
I don't.
there's kind of an undercurrent to this that wasn't said explicitly during the keynote, but because I've written about a couple of Google topics recently, it kind of really hit home for me during the show, which was this notion of trust. You know, that Microsoft is the trusted partner that its customers can go to make this digital transformation in this case. You know, Google is violating users' trust. They admitted to Congress recently that they're allowing third-party advertisers to read emails, which is insane to me. There's a new story this week also about Chrome and how it's auto-signing people into Google accounts when they sign into a Google service through the browser, which is insane to me, you know. It's interesting timing for Microsoft. Not that these have to do specifically with the vision, the topics that Satya Nadella was talking about, but I think it says a lot about the two companies.
And now there was something, there's a clip we're going to play that you specifically chose. Let's play that clip and then maybe give us a reaction to it.
Okay.
We as a tech industry push the envelope when it comes to the next generation of technology that can further help accelerate your tech intensity, because that's really the name of the game. The most important consideration, when I spend time with many of you, the most important consideration in terms of a digital transformational outcome is how can you continually improve that engagement with customers.
No.
So, I mean, this is a clip where he's talking about how can you continually improve your engagement with customers.
Right.
Tell me about that. Why was that interesting to you?
So two things. First of all, is just the phrase tech intensity. Mary Jo will probably agree. Neither one of us are big fans of the these kind of key phrases and so forth. But actually, that one I like it. You know, he said tech intensity is the name of the game, and what it has to do about is connecting with these other companies in the Open Data Initiative, which is what Mary Jo was. Well, she was talking about the openness in general earlier, but it just kind of speaks to that.
And I like that. Look, I'm not a buzzwordy kind of guy. You know me. I'm like a technical guy. But the word tech intensity was interesting to me because he put like a little formula up. And I've talked to businesses that are doing things like the old school way, where they might have lower tech intensity. And I could tell right away that these people are not going to be in business for a while. Why is it important for people to have this tech intensity, do you think, Mary Jo?
Well, I look at it more as like a vertical focus almost. And even though the idea of digital transformation is a very high level kind of buzzwordy type thing, the part of it that I find interesting is the renewed focus by Microsoft in the way it sells and in the way it's creating these almost like patterns and practices type things that are focused on specific vertical markets. And I think that's what kind of is going to differentiate customers who are in with Microsoft on this stuff. They'll be able to take advantage of these patterns and practices and things like AI and other areas where Microsoft's doing a lot of pioneering work, also IoT, and they'll be able to kind of repeat some of the core capabilities that they make in these patterns across a specific industry. So for me, that's he didn't use those exact words again, but when I think about tech intensity, that's how I think about it.
I see. So we didn't get your high level. Let's get your high level here now that Paul has told us a little bit about his high level. What did you get high level out of this?
So I guess I wasn't too surprised about intelligent edge, intelligent cloud. Of course, that was going to be a big theme. But I was a little surprised about how much IoT Satya talked about today. I mean, he really played that up as a key theme. And we all know that Microsoft's all in on the IoT and is doing a lot of new IoT services like IoT Central and Azure Sphere, which is the one we talked about before, which is the Linux microcontroller with the Azure service on the back end. But just the amount he talked about that was surprising to me.
And I believe there's a clip that you specifically chose. Let's go ahead and play that one right now.
9 billion microcontrollers that ship. You know, we talk about PCs and phones and speakers, but just to put it in perspective, There are 9 billion other computers, essentially. So these are in your microwave ovens, they're in factory floors, they're in the HVAC systems, everywhere, at their home or on work. You have these IoT devices. These are compute nodes. And so you know that the next attack vector is not going to be in what you consider to be your classic computer. It's going to be in one of these IoT devices. And so we came up with Azure Sphere.
All right, so I mean, he ended that quote on like, there's tons of devices, and we came up with Azure Sphere. Tell me, is IoT something that if someone's not paying attention, should they start paying attention? And why? Because you started mentioning that. Tell us
Yes,
about that.
for sure. Microsoft's emphasis now is not just on the almost 700 million PCs that are out there that have Windows, right? They're going way past that. And now they're talking about actually working with all of those devices at the edge. I mean, if you look at what they're going to announce this week around IoT edge services, even the new database, which they are announcing this week.
Oh, cool.
Yay!
Now I want to know what it is.
Right? I know, SQL Server 2019. I mean, all of these things kind of come back to get more processing done at the edge, and then bring that data back. Essentially, work with data closer to the endpoint. And that's good for performance. That's good for a lot of other reasons. And so I think that's going to be a big theme here.
So for those that don't know what Azure Sphere is, can you give us like a recap, Paul? Do you know about it?
Yeah, but I mean, I will right in one moment.
Yeah, please.
Because I'm really excited about this stuff. I'm going to babble a little bit. You know.
Babble away, my friend.
The exponential nature, and I realize it's not technically exponential, but the enormous opportunity of this, the 9 billion devices, that are out in the world, and the ways in which a human being can interact with basically AI-powered computing hardware, which is tiny, is astonishing. Think back to the original Microsoft mission statement, which was essentially a computer on every desk.
Yeah.
And that we would have to be sitting at a desk to use a computer, and that was the thing. And it was a place and a time when you would interact with computing services, right? And how that's expanded out with mobile computing and phones and all that kind of stuff. Now there will be a situation where in your home, in your car, in an airport out in the world, in a city, which will be all connected with smart devices, and again, the exponential nature of your interaction with these sensors or AI-powered computing devices. And so Azure Sphere is Microsoft's platform for this, right? It encompasses cloud services, including end-to-end security, which I think is the big bit. And then these microcontroller units that are, fingernail sized, right? Running a custom version of and to me, what IoT is, what the intelligent edge is any computing device that's smart enough to do machine learning or AI on the device, right? There will almost always be connectivity with the cloud, and that increases the capabilities. But I think that's the point of it, right? And so an Xbox, a Windows PC, a phone is absolutely capable of that thing. But the fact that you can get it on a tiny little, what is essentially a sensor, or many sensors in some cases, with a computing module attached to it is just amazing.
Yeah.
And it's interesting that, and I want to get your comment on this, Mary Jo. It's interesting that, the computer on every desk required a fixed interaction with computation.
Right.
And hardware.
Right.
But now we're living in an environment where all of the hardware is fixed and we're moving around in it. Tell us about that kind of experience and how IoT can help.
Right, the whole mobility, right? We started seeing this when basically when Satya became CEO. The mission statement kind of shifted, and it was more about any device where you are, right? Instead of our device where we want you to be.
Right.
And I think you're seeing that shift continue with IoT. It's not just, my laptop is a mobile device or my tablet is a mobile device. It's also, so are sensors on oil tankers, right? Like these are all mobile devices and things that Microsoft would like to help you manage and secure. So I think that's kind of where the next step with the mobile device, we will work with you wherever you are. Your data will be where you are at the edge. I think that's all part of that whole statement.
And I love the idea of where can we make things a bit smarter?
Yep.
Right.
And it doesn't, you got to take off the shackles of in front of the desk and the computer. Maybe it's in your thermostat. Maybe it's your garage door opener. Maybe it's at a soccer field, maybe it's something else. And so there's really a big opportunity for that.
It's all those things.
Yeah.
It's ambient computing. It's
It
the
is.
notion that, we buy these devices that we use in particular places. Today we buy smart speakers, and we might put them in the kitchen or a bedroom or whatever, and we interact with them in certain ways. But this is really just the prehistoric first step to when these things are built into light switches and lights and panels in the wall, and they're everywhere. And you could sit on a plane and it will know it's you, and you get your content served up on the back of the the tray or whatever. It's easy to kind of imagine these scenarios. It's the Jetsons' future or whatever, but it's real, and this is how it happens.
And it's interesting, you look at little kids interacting with these things, and it's as if they've been around forever. I'm like, listen, listen, you little pipsqueak. Like, you shouldn't be touching that screen, but wait, the screen that's not touchable, they like, what is, this is broken. And so it's interesting.
Do you, by the way, know the code name that was the precursor to the microcontroller part?
I have no idea.
Okay, so this is really interesting and plays into the whole, what is this service? So it was this thing called Project Sopris.
Okay.
Do you know who Galen Hunt is at Microsoft? He's like one of the big, famous brains in Microsoft research.
This is good.
So this guy,
you triggered him taking notes.
I know. Wait, he's like, look at him. He's on his Surface Go taking notes.
That's right.
So Galen Hunt created this thing called Project Sopris, and the idea was, you know how all these Internet of Things devices that are getting smarter out there, the biggest problem with them is they're not secure, right? I mean, there's people hacking these devices constantly. So his idea was, how can we secure the edge of the network? And his idea was, we need to secure it right down to the microcontroller.
Wow.
And that's where that came from.
By the way, can I quickly just tie that back to that notion of trust?
Right.
Yeah.
Yep.
Right. Microsoft thinks through this stuff in ways I don't think other companies do. Microsoft in 2002 underwent a trustworthy computing initiative that the rest of the industry has literally still not followed. A decade or more later. It's astonishing. And this is important stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I've seen Internet of Things, and I've seen the code that people have put out, and I've seen the devices, and I'm like, someone's going to get hurt.
Yeah.
Right. Everyone's worried about swarms of drones attacking their house, filming them from out through the window.
No joke. The other day, someone was testing their drone and flying it over my house, and I was like, I don't know if I'm comfortable with this.
Yeah, I would not be.
You need like a ground-air missile.
Yeah, no kidding.
So I got my RPG out and obviously blew it out of the sky.
Nice, which I think you're legally okay to do as long as it's over your property.
Yeah, it was over my property. So let's talk about the Open Data Initiative. I know we kind of danced around that a little bit, but I want to get your take on what it is. And what it actually means. That's what I'm most interested in.
Okay, so first, I should tell you, this was the big surprise announcement that even we had no idea about. We heard there was going to be some big announcement. And this was a very interesting announcement given what this week is. It's not just Ignite and Envision, it's also Dreamforce this week for Salesforce.
Oh, I did not know that.
Yes, so if you think about what Microsoft just did, it was a preemptive strike, right?
Jeez. Speaking of ground airmen.
Yeah, speaking of ground airmen. What they did was they took two of their biggest partners for Azure, SAP and Adobe, who have already committed to working with Microsoft, bringing their products and services to Azure. And they said, what if all three of us actually worked together and said, instead of the old CRM where everybody has silos, what if we said, what if your data could work across all these products seamlessly, but you still own and control your data? And we'll help you figure out how to apply AI technologies to it and manage your data and secure your data. And we'll call this the Open Data Initiative and get more partners in here. So when you are using something that is backed by the Open Data Initiative, you'll know that these things can work together without you having to cobble something together with connectors and all that.
I thought they were all going to have rings of power and
They
then
should've.
put them up.
Right,
and then all this is like a burst of light where we all went blind for 30 seconds.
That
But it
would've been
didn't
cool.
happen. We should have worked on that. Paul, what did you think about this?
Stylistically, I think. Well, no, this combines all that stuff we talked about earlier that's great about Microsoft right now. Trust, partnering, and openness. And this is it. This is how this stuff moves forward, right? So, like you said, I think this is really smart. Microsoft made an announcement, some announcements last week around Dynamics. Ahead of the show, which is kind of interesting. I think this might be why. And now they can have this follow-up where they're partnering openly with others. Smart.
I like that they had both all of the CEOs there. But then they showed the slide of Adobe and SAP in there, but they're like, but that's not the goal. And then they showed you here.
Right. Customer in the middle, right?
Yeah. And not only that, but other companies in the middle so that we can provide extra value. Like for me as an AI person, the more data that I have to build models, the better that you can serve your customers. Obviously, when you have to be respectful of data, and we have an AI ethics thing that we talk about. I don't want to be like, hey, well, let's use all your data, because that's not how it works. But I love that you can actually look at that as a sort of a together thing. So any other things that stood out to you? For me, the AI for humanitarian action kind of stood out. Anything like that that you liked?
No, to me, again, it comes back to the big picture thing. I hate to keep reiterating this, but you know, no, I don't think it was ever said this way, but I just kept looking at everything that he discussed, and I thought this has to do with trust. You know, Microsoft has established itself as the partner that customers can trust to bring them through this digital transformation. And obviously, it's a vision keynote. It's a high-level thing.
Yeah,
It's
it's really
not
high
announcing
level.
a bunch of specific product advancements or whatever, but that's the point. I mean, I think Microsoft is approaching this from a position of strength, and that strength has to do with partners and openness, and also with just the trust.
What about you, Mary Jo? What do you think?
Yeah, it's if you think about if I were organizing this keynote, right? Like, okay, your audience is IT pros and developers. One way you could do it is just go product, new
Yeah.
product.
Well,
This, that,
they
right?
will do that.
They
right?
will do
This
that.
is happening.
But the idea of taking a step back and saying, let's talk about what we're really trying to do here with all these different products and services we're going to announce this week. And take a step back, look at what it means for you as a customer in terms of your data, your privacy, your security. Like, just like, let's back it up 1 minute, set the stage, and now let's go drill into all these keynotes with all the new products and speeds and feeds. So I think that's what they were trying to do, and they did it.
That's awesome. So you'll be here for the whole week, is that right?
Most of the week. Yeah.
Most of the week.
Yeah.
What are you like? What does it look
Yeah.
like for a tech journalist to be here all week? Or do you go to sessions? Do you have
So
meetings? How does it work?
You brought that up earlier, and I had mentioned how you can watch sessions afterwards on video. Many Microsoft shows, I have watched videos from the show on the plane going home, which is a little easier to do when you're going West Coast to East Coast.
Yes.
It's not as easy this time. It's a shorter flight. but
Sorry.
yeah, please next time.
Yeah, well,
Caribbean or something.
somewhere.
But no, I'm not able to. I don't
No.
know if you go to many sessions, but I'm usually not able to. I've stopped pretending. I've always intended to. I love to go to sessions. I
Sure.
love viewing the sessions. I always map out, or I always had until about a year or so ago, and now I just,
You just gave up.
I can't
Yeah.
do it.
That's
Our
so.
schedules are so packed.
They are.
And we're lucky. You know, we get
I
to
know.
meet with some executives
Yep.
at Microsoft this week, which is really cool,
Yep.
and some product teams, and maybe get a deeper dive into what's happening. So
Yep.
that's kind of cool for us. But like I said, I'm doing what I recommend others do. I'm going to go back and watch sessions after the show's over.
Yeah.
Well, what about you? What does your
Yeah.
week look like?
Same thing. Like, I try to spend most of my time here just walking around the show floor and talking to people and hearing what they think is interesting, because sometimes what I think is interesting may not be what other people think is interesting. So it's good for me to know how to, what to cover, what to write for my audience. And then I also kind of sneak around looking for star sightings of celebrities from Microsoft.
Celebrities.
Yep.
Like people are like, man, you were on Channel 9. I'm like, yes, I'm very famous among dozens of people at very specific
Exactly.
places. Sure.
Exactly.
Well,
I saw Scott Goo yesterday.
Oh, that's different.
Yes.
Yeah.
But I didn't recognize him. Did I tell you this?
Why?
He was wearing a blue shirt, and he came out of the elevator and he walked right past me, and then I went, Scott?
You know,
He was
it says
incognito.
something about a guy where if
He
he's
was
not wearing the
incognito.
uniform we expect of him, you don't even see him in the crowd.
It's like Superman putting on his
Yeah.
glasses.
Right?
Who are you?
I know. I
That's all it
really
takes.
didn't recognize.
Okay, so last question for both of you. For those that are here, and you want to give them like a tip on make sure to go see this
Oh,
or make
that's-
sure to go do that.
It's tough.
That's tough because we can't really. There's some things we can't really talk about.
Oh, okay. But you could be like, hey, go to the expo floor and pick up this.
Well, okay. So you mentioned Azure Sphere.
Uh-huh.
I think that's a key thing. I would, especially
Yeah.
people in the dev space, I would say that.
Okay.
I am personally very much interested in things like Office 365. There will be some news around. I don't think it's
Yeah.
ruining anything to
No,
say. You know,
no.
obviously there's going to be news around
Yep.
Office 365, Microsoft 365. I would pay attention to that stuff.
Okay.
And then beyond that, I can't.
I
really.
know. Yeah, same thing. I just sometimes I don't even know what I'm going to find just walking around. I mean, at Build there was a petting zoo. I don't know if there's
Yeah,
one here.
I bonded
but
with a.
He did.
Wasn't that amazing?
It was. It was. So I think the tip for me is walk around because you may find
Yeah.
find people, places, and things you didn't know were here.
I ran into Bob Tabor, who is a
Oh, right.
personal hero of mine
Yep.
and a developer educator who now works for Microsoft. I found out, and
Oh, wow.
that's
Nice.
I love those impromptu.
Yep.
You know, I ran into Raymond Chen at probably to Build.
Right.
Like you said, it's really interesting
Oh, I have one
Who you
tip.
can.
Oh, yes, here, let's hear it.
What about, we forgot this tip.
Mhm.
We're doing Windows Weekly Live.
Oh, oh.
Can we say
Do
this?
not miss that. The shenanigans will be plenty.
Tuesday,
Plenty.
2 to 4.
Oh, we're
right
doing it
here.
here, aren't we?
Right here.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, cool. I
Yeah.
think we might be streaming that one out.
Nice.
Yeah.
All right. So it looks like we have someone out in the field. Is it our community reporter Raymond? Alex, our community reporter Alex was out in the field, and he got an interview with a gentleman by the name of Assad, I think. Let's roll that.
Hey, Seth. I am here with
Asad Khan.
Hey, Assad. How's it going?
Great, thank you. How are you doing?
Very well. So what are you doing here at Microsoft?
So I lead the product management on the engineering side for SQL Server and ML services and Azure Databricks.
That's pretty impressive. That's like you're the data guy here running at Ignite, right?
Yeah, as you know, like these days, data is the center of the currency on which companies run. So yeah, very excited to be here.
That's brilliant. So tell me, what's new about Azure Data? What are you guys going to announce here at Ignite? What's cool? What are you bringing?
Yeah, so Azure Data is the group in Microsoft that is the owner and has the charter to grow the Azure Data Services. And it ranges from the on-prem SQL Server all the way in the cloud, the SQL DB, Cosmos DB, which is the NoSQL globally distributed data service, and also like the NoSQL databases, and also the big data services like Databricks and Azure Data Factory, Data Warehouse. So a lot of products. Okay, at Ignite, we are really excited. There are a lot of cool announcements that are going out. So I will start by saying that the first one is the the preview of the SQL Server vNext, which is the SQL Server 2019. So if you go and look at the journey of SQL Server, like basically in 2016, we brought the ML and AI capabilities, which enabled customers to go and write their applications, which are more enriched and more has AI in there. Then in 2017, we brought the Linux capability, which was amazing because then that gives the customers the choice to go and run it anywhere. And also we introduced how they can go and run it on Kubernetes. So in 2019, we are actually doing a big leap forward. And what we are bringing is that we are unifying the capability for big data and relational together in one box. So when you go and buy 2019, you will get HDFS, which people use typically to build the data lakes, and Spark, Apache Spark as part of that. And it's not like you can go and connect or attach, it's like it's part of the SQL Server offering, and we have unified the whole experience through Azure Data Studio, which is the one tool, and it closes the chasm that today exists with more of the enterprises, where like they have different departments who are doing more OLTP, DW type of workloads, and there are people who are doing more ML, big data. So with this release, we are really excited because it brings together a unified product which provides you a unified data platform with a single tool that you can do all your data needs. So that is just one part, which is the on-prem one. And on the cloud, we have a lot of services, and we are enhancing them in a big way. So I will start by saying that on the Azure DB side, we have the hyperscale capability. This is like totally, we have re-architected the way we are offering the database as a service in the cloud. And it basically practically removes any data limit on how much you can go and store in there. To start with, we are offering up to 100 terabytes of databases in the cloud. So then it becomes like any enterprise out there who want to do a lift and shift or want to go and build applications on the cloud, they can go and use this service. Then also on the open source database side, because Microsoft is a big believer in terms of bringing the choice and openness, we are also doing the preview of the MariaDB. So this is on the relational side, and then with these three releases, like we have enhanced our hybrid capabilities. And then on the Cosmos DB, which is an amazing service growing at a huge growth rate, we are announcing two things. One is the GA of the Cassandra API, because a lot of people have been using Cassandra as the API to go and build their applications, and also a multi-master capability for multi-master, which is amazing because now you can go and write the globally distributed applications, and irrespective of where the writes are coming or the reads are coming, you don't have to go and worry. You just focus on your business needs. Then also on top of that, like basically we are bringing a lot of enhancements on the modern data warehouse pattern, which is a combination of Azure Data Factory, Azure Databricks, and DW. So there are a lot of announcements in that. And then we are also launching a new service, which is the Azure Data Explorer, which is an amazing service. It has been used inside the company for a lot of years. And what it enables is that you can go and analyze petabyte of data in the early life cycle of your data pipeline. And it really empowers the analysts and the developers to go and get real insights from data in the early life cycle.
Asad, those are a lot of announcements, many products. Microsoft is definitely no longer only on relational or only on-prem. It's such a big hybrid word, such a big set of hybrid products nowadays. Tell me, where can people learn more? Just 2 big breakout sessions.
Yeah, so I think that the number one I will say is that later today, around 2 or 2:30, Rohan, who's the corporate vice president for Azure Data, is doing his keynote. That is definitely a one session you need to go, because it will show you all these announcements, the demos, and we have customers on the stage. It will be an amazing session to go and watch that one.
Brilliant. So, Sev, there you have it. You should search in the on the application, on your mobile phone, or in the Microsoft catalog, service catalog for sessions for Rohan. Search for his session today, later today. Back to you.
Awesome. Thanks so much. I am a huge fan of data. In fact, those that don't know, I have the app installed on my phone, so I can go to all the sessions that I want. You can take a look at that. If you go to My Ignite, you'll find it there. All right, looks like we have Amy back over there just behind me with Naomi Moneypenny. Can you hear me, Amy?
I can hear you, and I have a surprise for you.
I am such a fan of Naomi Moneypenny. I'm not going to lie.
Me too, and I just met her for the first time. Did you know she doesn't know that I honeymooned at Ignite?
She doesn't? I mean,
She doesn't
obviously
know.
everyone
She just found out
would.
right now, so that's a live, real reaction.
That's awesome. So take it away.
Okay, I'm actually going to just ask you one question, and that's, what do you do? And I want to hear from you about what you thought of the keynote.
Sure, I'll be happy to. So I did not know about the honeymoon, so congratulations on that. Also, you're crazy, but it's also good. So what do I do at Microsoft? No honeymooning, unfortunately, but I am the director of teamwork and search for Microsoft 365, and I work in the product management area. And we've had some really amazing announcements. You heard a little bit with Satya this morning. We really talked into Azure and all the great advancements we're doing there in terms of machine learning. We also announced Azure Sphere, which is really this ability to take IoT and embed it into all of the different devices. And then we think about all of the other ways to use Azure and the security graph. So the amazing work that we're doing in terms of being able to look at Azure security and actually being able to incorporate that inside of everything too. So it's really exciting to be able to see all of those great advancements too. So one of the things that I found most interesting is this idea of the 3 CEOs up on stage. So I thought that was kind of incredible. When do you actually get to see the CEO of Adobe, of SAP, and to Microsoft too, right? And those 3 CEOs together really announcing this open data connector initiative. So you could really think about how customer data comes together, how you're able to use that in lots of different ways across many applications. It'll be starting out in Dynamics, but I think it's a really cool moment to see 3 CEOs of huge software companies coming together so that they can actually bring data together for our customers to build amazing solutions on top of. So a really exciting keynote, I think, from everything we're doing in processing of signals, from the graph, how we're looking at devices, how we're making all of that data available through the Microsoft graph, making it secure, and then being able to build solutions on top of it too. So really exciting keynote for us, and I'm really looking forward to a number of the keynotes too this afternoon. We've got Ron Markovic in the modern workplace, and then we've got Laurie Wright, who's talking about technology and teamwork. So really exciting stuff. Thanks so much.
Awesome. Thank you so much for joining us. It was so great to meet you for the first time. I hear nothing but amazing things about you. Thank you. All right, Seth, any other questions before I kick it back to you?
Yes, you need to ask Naomi, like, what do people have to do when they're here at Ignite, if they ever do come or if they are here? What should they go
All
be
right.
doing?
So we need to know what should people do at Ignite if they're a first-timer or if they're a repeat attender and they didn't do it right the first time around.
Okay. You're always doing it right at Ignite. Whatever Ignite you do is your Ignite, you did it well, right? So the important thing, I think, is to connect with the people that you want to go to. So you can get all this great session content on the tech community afterwards. So if you're not a member of the tech community, you need to join up. So techcommunity.microsoft.com. Once you've joined up on that tech community, then you can watch the sessions you need afterwards. So don't kill yourself trying to get to every single session and feel like you're missing out because you didn't get to go to this particular session. Go to the sessions where you're asking questions and getting answers, and that will make a great Ignite for you.
great. Thank you so much. Back to you, Seth.
Awesome. Thank you so much. Community reporter Paula is here to co-anchor with me and to take us into the tech keynote. So Paula, what have you been up to?
Well, anything security really. So this is what is personally interesting for me, but there are so many different types of keynotes. There's something for developers. There's also something if it's about modern workplace. So absolutely interesting.
So was there anything in the keynote? Because they really dove into security in the keynote. Did you get anything from that? What is your opinion about
Well, in general, the trend is out there to make sure that when we are building our cybersecurity or security posture, it's designed well. And with the current technologies, we can do that.
Yeah.
And there are so many concerns that we have right now that we haven't had before, like information protection, etc. So this is something that everybody should definitely look at.
Awesome. Now, you're doing some sessions. Is it today or this week? Tell us about those.
It's on Wednesday, so it's at 2 p.m. And basically, I'm delivering a session about all the fatal signs that could indicate that you've been hacked.
Oh, no.
It's a real deep dive.
Yeah, and like, it's not a question of like preventing hacks, but it's also a question of what do you do when you've been hacked as well? I mean, should people
Absolutely.
be expecting this?
You know, like everybody should be expecting that. And we should know, first of all, how to recover from that kind of situation. And sometimes we don't even know that that happened. And that can happen because we misconfigured something. And it's a human thing, right? So sometimes it's really human bringing the problem into the infrastructure,
that's
right?
true.
Yeah, so there's lots of situations that we should be dealing with while designing security. And that's really what the session is about.
Awesome. Well, do we have someone out in the field ready for me to talk to me, or are we can I talk more to Paul a little bit? Okay, so one more question. For those that are just thinking about security, they're like, oh no, Paula said I need to look at security. Like, what's the first best thing somebody can do?
Well, to design security in a good way, first of all, we need to understand our security posture, as we could hear on the keynote. So what are our risks? And then pick appropriate technologies for that. Currently from Microsoft, we've got a very nice thing coming, and that's the Windows Server 2019. I'm very excited about it, where you've got a Windows Defender ATP Expert Guard. So this is really something that we were looking for, because one thing, it's an antivirus, but the second thing is that you've got many techniques of exploiting the different types of activities, and this is what was missing, and that's what's out there in a good shape. So that could be one of the steps to take.
That's cool. So just have the right infrastructure even to just get started.
Absolutely. So one of the principles out there in designing a good security in the infrastructure.
Awesome. Well, thanks so much. Thanks so much for that, Paula. Now, let's find out how to connect with your favorite Microsoft leaders here at Ignite with special community events happening all day. Our community reporter, Josh, met with the expert earlier. Take it away.
And I am here with Anna. Anna, can you please introduce yourself and tell us what you do at Microsoft?
Yeah, hi Josh. I'm the community lead for Microsoft Ignite, and I'm really excited to be here.
All right, excellent. Yeah, you're one of those people that many of us MVPs know quite well at Microsoft. So we are here to talk a bit about social at Microsoft Ignite. Social is such a huge aspect, networking, of being at Microsoft Ignite. Can you tell us some of the ways that attendees can maximize being social while at Ignite this year?
Yeah, definitely. Community socials are a really big way that people can find their own people as well as meet some of their heroes. We really want to enable people to, get connected with other PowerShellers. So we've brought in people like Jeffrey Snover and his team, to come out and meet the community. But we've got other community socials happening throughout the conference. So if you care about Azure infrastructure, if you care about
Microsoft Teams.
Oh, Microsoft Teams, you've got to plug that one.
Yeah.
Then we've got a whole schedule of different community socials that are happening throughout. So the best way to find out about them, unfortunately we don't have them in the My Ignite schedule, but we do have them up on probably the most social platform you can use, Twitter. So we're promoting them there. And if you follow the hashtag community social and add the official Microsoft Ignite hashtag MS Ignite, you'll be able to find all the different community socials that we have planned.
Perfect. Okay, so that's the way to follow and get to those sessions. You mentioned that Jeffrey Snover will be Monday night. That's awesome. What an incredible opportunity. Are there some other names you care to throw out there that we might be able to meet throughout the week?
Yeah. We've got people like a certain crustacean. Apparently, it's his 21st birthday.
Wow.
So Squeaky Lobster. He is a a very big name in the Exchange community. So he will be celebrating his 21st birthday as part
21.
of the
Wow.
Exchange and Outlook social. We also have Corey Sanders as well, and he's a pretty big name. Julia White, who's the host of Microsoft Ignite.
Wow.
She's
Okay.
going to be meeting the community here too. So all of this is happening in Community Central, which is located in the West Hall.
Excellent. Great opportunities to not just meet heroes, but network.
Yes.
Thank you so much for joining me, Anna.
All right, that's awesome. So make sure you stay tuned to all the community things happening. But now, Catherine had a chance to catch up with a very special guest. Let's take a look at that right now.
Hey, this is Catherine. I'm here from the Expo Hall at Microsoft Ignite and the Power BI booth, and I'm here with a very special guest here today. This is very exciting, and I'll let him introduce himself. So welcome.
Yeah, see.
Hi, Catherine. Good morning.
I had it right.
So
I
my
didn't
name is
want-
Arun Ulag. I run the Power BI engineering team in Redmond. I'm very excited to be here at Ignite with all our thousands of customers.
And many employees as well. So if anyone wants to come and ask some questions, they can stop by the booth here and get some help. So tell us a little bit about why are people excited about Power BI? And this is kind of silly because why not? But why are people excited about Power BI?
It's a crazy exciting time to be in Power BI. The thing about Power BI is it helps customers drive a data culture where every single employee is making decisions based on facts versus opinions. And this has gotten customers really excited. We're seeing some crazy usage numbers. We have almost 20 million models hosted in the Power BI service. Customers upload something like 10 petabytes of data to the Power BI service every single month. And Power BI processes about 9 million queries per hour. So it's a really, really exciting time to get involved.
Absolutely. And right now here at Microsoft Ignite, we have so many announcements, some great things coming up. Can you tell us a little bit about the Power BI pipeline, maybe top 3 things to get excited about?
That's great. We have some really exciting capabilities, especially for the folks in IT and in SQL Server out there. The first is we're bringing the enterprise-grade semantic models that our customers are used to with analysis services into Power BI, so that now customers in Power BI can create data models with hundreds of different tables, the kind of data models that typically power an enterprise. The second thing we're doing is we're bringing XMLA support to Power BI. Now I know that sounds like a really geeky thing, but the reason it has customers excited is that it allows the data models in Power BI to be accessible not just within the reports and dashboards in Power BI, but to be able to connect to Excel, to connect to any BI tool out there, because pretty much every single one supports XMLA. And the last thing is we're adding aggregations to Power BI. So if Power BI can handle large data volumes today, it'll now be able to handle trillions of rows of data in the buttery smooth way that customers are already used to.
So this is very good, especially for people like me, more on the traditional side, bringing features that we know from SSAS and SSRS into Power BI, and then just scaling it up for big data. Yeah. This is great.
There's one thing I forgot, I just wanted to add this on. So you mentioned SSRS. We're actually bringing the multi-page paginated reports in SQL Server reporting services to Power BI as well, so that you can get your self-service reports, but you can also get those multi-page, paginated, pixel-perfect reports with those headers and footers that you want delivered into your email box this morning, or you want to, just print out and have them appear just right. So those SSRS capabilities are also coming to Power BI.
That's very good. And then we're collecting all of this data, we're getting the insights. How can we turn that into actions?
That's great. It's a very good question. This is where the Microsoft's Power Platform comes in. Power BI is part of a family of products that includes Microsoft Power Apps as well as Microsoft Flow. And what Power Apps lets you do is it lets you take those insights and very quickly build applications for your enterprise that work on your browser, that work on your mobile phone, etc. And then you can even embed those applications back into your Power BI report. So just where you get the analytics, you can convert them into action. Microsoft Flow helps you create business processes without writing any code. So if there's a KPI in Power BI that's perhaps not trending in the right direction, you can use Microsoft Flow to trigger a business process.
So a lot of ways to kind of use this without knowing any code or things like that. And if anyone watching wants to get involved in the Power BI community, can you tell us a little bit, are there anything they can do?
Absolutely. We have a very energized and passionate community. We have over 700,000 members that participate in community.powerbi.com. We have over 200 user groups around the world. So if you want to participate, get onto community.powerbi.com, join a local user group, or start one. There's a lot of excited folks out there you can connect with.
Great. And then, communitypowerbi.com, join a Power BI user group or start your own and just get involved. do you have any final thoughts on Power BI or the Power Suite, the Power Platform that you want to share with us?
I just wanted to say it's all come together very, very nicely. So if you're somebody who's actually been in data, in big data, in SQL Server, in Excel, join the revolution. Join Power BI, get involved, use the tools. Power BI Desktop is free. You can download it and you can use it. And it's not just free for a limited period of time or a limited capability. It's completely free. And we publish updates every single month to the Power BI Desktop and every single month to the Power BI, every single week actually to the Power BI service. So if you if there's ideas that you want us to implement, go put them on ideas.powerbi.com. We pay careful attention to what our customers want, and we mark those ideas as the ones that get the most votes, as things that we want in our roadmap, and then we ship very, very quickly. So there's a lot of energy and excitement out there. I invite everybody to get involved.
Perfect. Thank you so much for joining us here today, and I hope you enjoy the rest of your Microsoft Ignite.
Awesome. Thanks so much, Catherine. Good to see you.
Now that you have a better sense of the tech keynotes, it's time to choose which of the three you want to watch. Which one will it be? Microsoft 365 Modern Workplace, Apps and Infrastructure, Data and AI, or Business Apps? Only you get to decide. We have about 20 seconds. Which one would you go to?
Microsoft 365.
And I would be like the AI data one, I think.
Yeah?
Like, why would you choose that one?
Well, I'm the infrastructure person, so it's more of an IT in IT's interest, and I'm really curious on what's new out there. So that will be pretty much the one I would choose. Yeah.
Awesome. Well, make sure you tune in, okay? And make sure you tune in. You have a couple of sessions to choose from. They're starting now.